Hi, I'm Will Price. I'm a SEND at Ashby School, and I'm going to be talking to you about how we support our students with special educational needs and/or disabilities. So, as you're likely to already know, Ashby School is part of the Life Multi Academy Trust, which is a selection of primary and secondary schools across Leicestershire. Now, within that, we have the National Forest Hub, which is Ashby School, Ivanhoe School, and Ibstock Community College, and we work really closely in collaboration to provide the best possible learning experience for our students, and that includes the SEND departments. Now, at Ashby School, we firmly believe that it's vital to see the whole child and not just any additional learning need they may have. And as Sir John Jones put it, the problem is the problem, not the child. Our mental model of that child may be the barrier to their success. And speaking of barriers, I think it's no secret that SEND within England is currently at crisis point, and external support is increasingly hard to access. We don't have time to wait for the politicians to argue about how they would fix it. We need to support our students in the here and now, and this means we have to be creative with the funding we do have and do all we can to ensure that our students' needs are met in the classroom and within the school environment. Now, obviously, one of the key differences between primary and secondary, and your children should be versed to this by now, is that there's not a teaching assistant in every classroom in a secondary school, and we are no different in that respect. Our teaching assistants within school support those students who have EHCPs or intervention funding, because that is a statutory requirement. But how do we support those students with or without funding within school? So the main way we support them is through one-page profiles. Now, that involves liaising with the feeder school, your child's current school, about the best supportive measures that work for your child. And that's put in one helpful document that all staff will receive before students are with us at the start of next academic year, and they are given time on their inset days to familiarise themselves with the best supportive strategies for the students that they work with. You'll be receiving an email with a link for you to contribute towards the content of those one-page profiles, because parental contribution is really important. Nobody knows your child better than you. We also subscribe to the 5-a-day principle from the Education Endowment Foundation, and this really works on the basis of what is vital for some of our students actually benefits every single student. And these 5 principles we aim to have in every lesson. So that's explicit instruction, cognitive and metacognitive strategies, scaffolding, flexible grouping, and technology. I'm not going to take you through all of those because it will take a very, very long time. I'm just going to take you through scaffolding to start with. Now, scaffolding is temporary support that can be removed when it is no longer needed, and this can be done gradually or at a pace that suits the learner. There are 3 different types of scaffolding. We have visual scaffolding, which might be a visual cue such as a task planner or a list of the steps that people need to take, models of work or images that support vocabulary learning. We have verbal scaffolding, which is the cues the teacher uses to support that student verbally. So looking back at previous work with that student, asking them what they've done before, giving them key points not to forget. Or we have written scaffolding, which is increasingly useful, word banks with key vocabulary, writing frames for longer writing tasks, and sentence starters as well. And our aim is to make every student aware of the scaffolding that works best for them, and we want them to become independent self-scaffolders. They know what supportive measures they need to use, and they can use them themselves. I think it's important with students going into year 10 and then soon into year 11 and the GCSEs that we talk about exam access arrangements, which a lot of people are keen for their child to have. So JCQ, the Joint Council for Qualification, state that access arrangements reset at the start of Key Stage 4, which is year 10, which can cause a bit of worry for some parents. And again, that's not an Ashby School ruling, that is a JCQ standards. So what happens is your child will not lose those access arrangements if they need them. Now, they have to be displaying need for those throughout the year, and again, that is JCQ regulations. So we send out regular progress checks to teaching staff to establish whether students are displaying need for those access arrangements. Now, if they are displaying that need, then that's the case. They are applied where appropriate. I think it's really important at this point, because it's one of our most common queries. Dyslexia does not automatically entitle students to extra time in exams. So if a student with dyslexia is not finishing their work regularly in class, the staff member will communicate that to us, and then they will go through access arrangement testing to see if they qualify for that particular access arrangement. So obviously every school has a different communication structure within Ashby School. If you have any pastoral issues, then initially we would recommend they go to the form tutor, and if they can't deal with it, it will go to the year team leader, and the year 10 year team leader will be Mr. Willoughby. Any learning specific queries should go to the subject teacher initially, because every teacher is a teacher of SEND in this school, and we passionately believe that if they can't support that query you've got, then it will come to us. For any SEND specific matters, we would ask that you initially contact the SEND office via email, which is send@ashbyschool.org.uk. How do we communicate with parents and carers? Well, we have our school website, we use email, termly newsletters, social media, Twitter/X and Instagram, the Arbor app, student planners, parents' evening, progress data reports each term, and phone calls where needed. So we understand how daunting transition can be, and chances are that your child has already done it once before, but that doesn't make it any less daunting this time round. Now, a lot of work goes into liaising with those feeder schools into getting the appropriate information about each student who is coming to us. We get as much as possible, so we get as full a picture as possible. Also, some students are given the opportunity to have extra visits to enable them to become comfortable and familiar with the school's layout and staff. As I mentioned earlier, those one-page profiles are created ready for the start of the new school year. We have our induction day on the 26th, and that's heavily supported by staff around the school. We are well versed in transition for our students, and also there is the Year 9 welcome open evening on June the 27th, where you can meet key members of the leadership and pastoral teams, and also a good opportunity to meet your child's form tutor, who will be supporting your child throughout their time at Ashby School. I think all that's left to say is we're really looking forward to welcoming your child on induction day for the start of their journey with us at Ashby School. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good summer.